Welcome back, guys, again. From the other time of my last update, that was on Where UG. We talked about the factors that a farmer should consider before starting up goat farming, and I talked of land that is having the space. I talked of the breeds, which breeds are interested in. I talked of the capital. I also talked of the housing, and now the housing, it dictates the type or the method of feeding that you'll be using for your goats. For example, if you go for an intensive system of managing our goats, it means you'll have to provide both the water and feed troughs in the same structure. And of course, with that system, it needs maybe people who are doing the high quality breeds, the dairy breeds, maybe the Boers, and on a commercial scale. And in that, feeding is not a challenge on their side, because to go for intensive system, it means you are very prepared for the costs like the feeds. So the next thing, we talked about the climate. So you look at the weather. Which type of weather does your country maybe experience? So it also has a greater effect on these animals. So as you see, for us in Uganda, we are into small East African goats, Mubende goats, and the South African Boers, due to their advantages we see, especially maybe for the farmers that have adapted maybe good ideas and skills in goat farming. They are now opting for the African Boers because of their faster growth, the market, the training, you know, and of course their ability to do the extensive system. So you see these goats here specifically, they were meant to be managed semi-intensively, but because of the land you're seeing, the vast land of the university, you see that the herdsmen will come in the morning by 11, because we'll wait for the dew, you know, the dew from the grass, the some bit of water, something like water which forms in the on top of the grass, that morning dew. So we first wait it to dry, or when the sun rises, then by 11 a.m. they are taken to the grazing grounds, and that is none other than the campus land you're seeing in the other background over there. All that is land for the university, and these goats, they do the natural feeding or foraging. We know very well that goats are good browsers. So unlike the cattle, goats do the browsing, meaning they like eating top of the leaves, they from top of the trees, the shrubs. They love eating something which is beyond their height, you know. So for this purpose, they are on, let me say, extensive system. The only thing here is that we are providing them with the shelter or the shade, whereby they will come back in the evening and they get the shelter to protect them from the harsh weather. So as you see here, we have our fencing. So the next thing, another factor, you should look at the fencing. You should consider the fencing, as it also saves more from the thieves. We know very well that if the thieves enter or they break into your, yeah, sir. Yeah, so he's our lecturer, of course. So when the goats or when the thieves break into your goat farm, you know very well that we shall have made losses. A thief comes and takes everything that you have worked in vain to come to that level. So even if it is a government, maybe they are government, it's government owned, the goats are government owned, but of course that one cannot stop a thief from coming. So you should look at the security of the place. The next thing, you look at the veterinary services in your place. So what do I mean? When you enter into this business, remember, you need a vet, someone who will be coming to do the diagnosis and treatment of your goats. As you see, these goats, most of them are they are rating, and of course, we need someone, or we need to see that we can first of all diagnose and know what is the cause of the diarrhea. Is it that they have some problem with the GIT? Is it the type of feeds? Is it the endoparasites? So any underlying healthy condition needs to be examined by the vet and should be a skilled personnel. So the next thing, maybe we can look at the market, because remember, in a business, it is trade, exchange of goods for goods and services for services. So with these goods, we need a market for them. So with the market, you should know who are your potential buyers. Like here in Soroti, the potential buyers are none other than the butchermen and also the traders, because there is always a mobile market at this place here. So you take your goats and maybe you can sell. Then also farm gates is very okay. And right now we appreciate that the technology we're having right now, even if you're far, even if you're somewhere else or a distant place, still you can get a market for your goats or animals, because internet is everywhere in the country. And also we can utilize the internet as farmers to connect with more other farmers, and also we share knowledge on what we know in the goat maybe sector, teach them about the feeding, a lot of things, feed formulation, the breeding, the marketing, housing, management, and so on. So with here, as I told you in the other last video, kindly for my new subscribers, make sure that you go and search into my old or my first ever videos in this channel, and that was on the goat farm tour. That's what I uploaded. You'll see that I had some small historical background of these goats you're seeing, and of course the breeds that we are having right now. So when we came to the housing, guys, see this one. These are the alpha males. Those are one of the alpha males here. So this was the type of housing that we had. It was constructed by the whites by those days, and of course, due to the advancement in technology, we now say that this one is the oldest style of constructing a goat pen. So as you see, the drainage pattern is not okay, the waste management, the slope itself, as we see that it should have a slanting floor, it's not all that well. When we look at the ventilation, I can say it is somehow, but also not all that good. And of course, the goats have been living here for a very long time. And the good news is that this budget of the new or the modern goat unit, it was put up, and by now, as I shoot this video, I'll take you and maybe we have a tour of the new or the new goats unit, or the modern one that is approved to be at a standard. So this used to be the goat unit, and of course anytime from now they will be shifting them from here to the other side of the new modern goat unit. So this one, it used to be a water trough by then, and but now it's like it's no longer in use. This is the rainwater that just collected from the roof, and of course we need to pour it because it is not all that safe. Then with here we have the goat crush. For cattle it is a cattle crush, but here This is our goat crush, as you can see. So with this goat crush, we can enter these goats from this side. This is the collecting yard. So guys, for now, my camera is not all that clear, but with time, I believe that the future is bright. As we grow this channel together, at some time or in the future, I know I'll be able to purchase a camera, because right now I'm surviving on this mobile phone that I'm using to shoot every piece of content that I share with you. So the future is bright. I believe we shall move further and we shall grow together. So with here, this is the collecting yard. So the goats will enter from this side. As we can see, they enter from here. After entering, we can let them to first of all stay here. Then as we proceed from the collecting yard, this is now the goat crush. This narrow path you're seeing, it is a goat crush. So activities that are carried out here in the goat crush, we have spraying. We can do the spraying of these goats. We can do the treatment. We can do the examination. We can also take blood samples from the goats, and also we can also do the PD, pregnancy test, if you want to get maybe the samples from the goats. So this is what we are using, and we are trying to use some bamboo here, over here. We also use the bark tree. This one's called the bark tree. So we are using the local materials that are available to see that we at least have structures for handling our goats. So as we move on, I can say that maybe after the housing aspect, we can also go to the feeding aspect of the goats. I believe, yes man, good evening. Yeah, so with the feeding aspect, we know that so that we like feeding, it takes 70% of the farmer's money. So how can you do to reduce the costs of feeding in goats? One, if you have some land, you can grow the pasture grasses. So you can sacrifice small piece of land to grow the pasture grasses. For example, we have the bracharia. In my latest video, I talked about the bracharia or the consigno. We also have the green grass. We have Rhodes grass. We have the lemon grass. We have what we call the buffalo grass. We also have, let me say, the Guatemala. Also, it is very good. We have the napier grass. You can also grow fodder maize. We can also grow pasture legumes like the stratero, the muchuna, glycine, and so others. So with these ones, if you have your pasture garden, it can reduce on the costs in that you'll be harvesting on a daily routine. As I told you, after that, you wilt that pasture before feeding the animals, so that we can prevent cases of bloat in our animals. So from there, we can also do the aging or the grouping. Make sure that when the goats are feeding, at least you separate or you feed them according to their age and sex. Don't mix the older goats with these kids, because the competition for feeding, it will be too much, and of course they will be fighting over each other as they are competing for the feeds. So make sure you separate them and you feed them according to their nutrient requirements, because we believe every stage has a different nutrient requirement. So feeding, we talk about the feeds, and also we talk about the water. So some people undermine the water, but it's very crucial. So here we can see these are our locally made water trough. So they just got some the iron steel bars with a jerry can. They cut the top part to come up with this structure, and it is a water trough. So we have some water in it, and sometimes it is provided they just come and carry water in the jerry cans, and they refill these water troughs. We have a number of them. Another one is here in front, as you can see. So goats need water, and you know water is very good for thermoregulation, digestion, assimilation, and also in the process of excretion, that is the removal of wastes. But also these goats, they are very good even if you do not provide water for them, as long as they are getting exposure to this fresh fodder or the leaves, these succulent leaves of the shrubs, they still get that water from the plant. So water can be got through feeds or also by direct drinking. So this is the water trough. So make sure that you give your goats enough quality clean water so that they can be able to digest the food. So other farmers, maybe who have some good source of money, you can also go for our formulated feeds, the concentrates. You can also go for some supplements. It can be vitamin supplements, protein supplements, also energy supplements. And also we have what we call the mineral link. It's also very good that you can put them in the feed troughs so that the goats can also lick and be able to absorb some minerals that maybe okay to combat the deficiencies in the minerals, the calcium, the magnesium, the phosphorus, so that in the end we have healthy animals with healthy bones, healthy bodies, and also what we shall be selling to other people, it will be having its market, it will be creating market for itself. Something which is healthy, it looks for market by itself. So for example, when you see this goat here, this is the boa we are having, it is polled.